comes up. Now, a lot of times it's modal, so you can't do anything else in the machine, even on another app. That's ridiculous. But even if you could do something on another app, by the time you come back, you've forgotten which window or document that save panel's for. And you got to manage it and move it all around. How could we simplify this whole thing? Well, let me show you. So here's a window, and I'll do a save as right now. See that? All right. Simple. And so, you know, I can be, oh yes. And I can have, as an example, I can have a few of these up here, right? And I can just say, you know, let's save this one. And it's very clear, you know, what that pertains to. I can go do something else if I want to. And when I come back, I know exactly what that thing pertains to. Now, what happens, though, if the window's really small? I mean, we got to think these things through, you know, and I want to save that. Well, this is what happens. And what happens now? What happens if this thing's up against the side and I hit save as? Well, that's what happens. Just puts it back when you're done. Now, let me show you something else that's cool. You'll notice that the save panel looks a little different than you've seen before. It actually is very simple. You might be able to understand it. And so you could type something in here, and you have this pop-up list, which has your favorite places, which you get to manage what's in there, and your recent places you save stuff. And so most of the time, 99% of the time, when you want to save something, you just pick somewhere like Documents and go save. Pretty simple, huh? But if a place that you want to save something isn't there, you just hit this button, and you get a full browser here. And so if you know your network, you can just go around your network, you know, pick wherever you want. All right? Boom, boom. Wherever you'd like to save it, or just hide that. Very, very simple. Very, very simple. Make sense? Right. Okay. We're just getting started. Now, menus, we thought a lot about menus, and what we came to the conclusion was that Mac's menus are the best menus in the world. There's nothing better. They work great. There's 25 million people that know how to use them, and they're wonderful. So let's just do a great implementation of pull-down menus. You'll see that they actually fade out like this. Very nice. But you'll also notice that they're actually semi-transparent, too, except for the text. Isn't that cool? Let me just give you another example of that. See that? Pretty cool, huh? So, what else do I want to show you on menus? That's pretty much it for menus. So now what I'd like to do is go into a topic that I think a lot of the developers were worried about, which is the Finder. Were we going to make a radically new Finder? The answer to that is yes and no. The Mac Finder was a brilliant invention and is a great way to store documents. And nobody's invented anything better. But we can do a better implementation of it that does a lot more for you. So let me show you the new Finder. It's completely new, and yet I think you'll recognize it. This is the new Macintosh Finder. Now, it works just like your old Finder if you want it to. Now again, the old Finder, when I clicked on things, it spawns windows, right? So here I am, clicking on things, getting a lot of windows, and I get to be the janitor. Well, if you want to be the janitor, you can be, and clean up all these windows. But the default way it works is to just do that for you. And every time I click, it just takes me somewhere, just replaces the window with the place I want to go. And if I want to get back, there's this pop-up list right here. It shows me everywhere I've been. I can go anywhere back there, boom, I'm back to the computer. Or I have something that's also very easy. I have a back button, just like on a browser, that takes me back to the last place I was. Very simple. We also have a search field where you can type in anything and find documents by both name and content almost instantly. So it's really easy to find stuff. It's really easy to navigate. Now, let me show you some things we've added to make it even easier to navigate. We have icon view here, right? So I can go into here and go into documents and follow it down that way. Or, of course, I have list view, which you're all familiar with, right? But we've added another view called browser view, which lets me see my whole tree here, everywhere I've been, all the way back, every choice I've made. And you can click between these views so easily, right? Now, in browser view, there's another fun thing, which is if you click on one of these, we've added a preview mode. And so I can preview any kind of documents right here just by clicking on them. As a matter of fact, I can even preview QuickTime movies. Pretty cool. I love these outtakes. So, we have all sorts of different ways to view your files at a click of a button right here up on the Finder. You can just pick whichever one you want, change it as often as you like. Now, in addition to this, we've added some buttons here. And these buttons are shortcuts. They're shortcuts to the places that you go all the time. And so we have one called Computer. Boom. It takes you to your computer. You can see your disk drives. You can see the network if you want to. Go on the network, whatever you want to do. We have another one called Home. Well, what's that about? Well, if you're the only user on your computer, your home is just going to be on your computer right there next to the hard disk. But if you set up your computer on a network or set it up even at home or in a classroom to be multi-user that we talked about, like Mac OS 9 does, everybody will have their own home. And this takes you to your home, whether it's on your local hard disk, somewhere down the tree, or even in another building on a file server. It'll just take you right to your home. This button here takes you right to your apps. You ever have trouble finding your apps? Boom, there they are. This button takes you to all your documents. And again, you can have folders in here and organize this however you want, make the hierarchy however